Did you have any past lives? And who were you if indeed you did have any past lives? Welcome to Falling Star Tarot. Subscribe to catch me again and click that bell to see my weekly notifications. I'd like to thank all of you for supporting the channel. If you'd like to continue to, there are links below for that. This week's pick a card is going to explore your past lives. We are even going to, entertainment purposes only, pull a card to see how many lives you might have already had. Are you on your first life? And who were you in your past lives? Were you rich, famous, a conqueror, a princess, a warrior, a king even? What were you in your past life? We're going to take a look at that in a moment. We have 5 choices for you to choose from this week, or you can use our oracle to help you choose. Pause to meditate whenever you wish. I'll see you there. Choice 1, this is the card that you chose for your past life reading. We're going to do this a little bit different, and the first card I'm going to draw is going to be the number. Now this is a collective reading for entertainment purposes only, but we're going to try to get the number or multiple how many lives you have already had. So let's go ahead and pull you a card for that. So 5, you could be on your 6th life, or you could have had a multiple of 5. Some multiple of 5 past lives, like 20 or 500, or I don't know, but that's sort of interesting. And I like what it says here, play on the swings at your neighborhood playground. That's interesting. I almost didn't see that that was a typo. Dress warm and make angels in the snow. You might have been a very playful heart. Wow, that's a really great energy. And number 5 is an excellent energy to have. It's all about change and flexibility, taking a chance. All right, so what you were more likely inclined to be in your past life is a liar. I'm going to jump right in and say you might have been in politics or law or something where you really could not be too forthcoming. This doesn't mean that you were just a terrible person, but one of the things that might string your past lives together might be a need for non-transparency. Okay, so maybe you worked for the government or the military, but I can see you as someone who really needed to not share too much about what you did. It might have been a very secretive pursuit. I don't believe, I'm just not getting the impression that you were any kind of like a pirate or anything like that. Maybe you know better, but I don't think this was necessarily a bad thing. I think that at least in the past lives that I'm picking up on, you had a very good carefree heart, and you put this to good use. The 10 of Cups tells me that overall your past lives were very fulfilling. 5 of Hearts and 10 of Cups. I mean, you really had a wonderful heart. You probably were a romantic type, had a lot of very close friends or family. I'm going to say you had deep and fulfilling connections with people. I can imagine you being someone who a lot of other people in the community looked up to and also really cared about what was going on in your life. I mean, maybe they had paid attention to your family, like it might have actually been in the news or in the tabloids, or just something like I'm picking out, maybe you could have been like royalty or something that someone big enough in the community that people would pay attention to how things were going and the gossip would ensue. This is sort of sort of a card of high expectations as well. So you may not have always felt complete, but you were. I don't think you always realized what you had, and that could be something that you have to work out in this life, where you realize what's truly important to you, and you accept how great you really have it, and how so many others would really just love to have the life that you have built for yourself. You may have something off in the distance that you never accomplished, but you're really not being, you're really not being true to yourself to say that these things are not yours when you have completion. You have like the best love. This is one of the best cards for love. So I'm thinking your life was truly serene and happy. You probably had a lot of celebration, and family and friends. So I think that in this life, your lesson would be appreciation, happiness, joyfulness, and kind of just rolling with the punches, being happy that you have these things. It's okay to be honest about how happy you are. Let's see if we can't get a little bit of advice, and then we're going to see what your past life selves would have to say to you. So just a little advice from the universe. Oh, that was way too fast. From the universe or your guides, and how to look back on your past lives. I also get you might have been in sales. Does that make sense? Like, you see people, they open up their coats and there's just tons of stuff they're selling. And I mean, people don't always look well on those people. They kind of have opinions of them, but I had a revelation the other day. Like, there was a movie that I watched where the guy was selling some sort of oil, and the oil is actually something he would trade quite regularly amongst his people. But to some people, it's what some might call snake oil. Well, snake oil has uses as well, and it has a value. The trouble is when people say it cures absolutely everything on the planet and everyone needs it and charges way too much. I have a feeling that some people might have looked at you for what you did because it was foreign to them, not because it was bad, but just because what you had, you knew the value of it, you knew how to use it, and you knew how to market it. People will say what they will when you know your value, and the advice you were giving might have been worth more than the products you had. Just a little extra message from the universe. Okay. I go with the flow and feel my connection to the stream of life, which is what number 5 is all about, because it's about change and chaos and chance and things just ending up. Did I not say, like, go with the flow might be your karmic lesson? I just dropped my box, sorry. But that might be your karmic lesson for this life. Let's see what your past life would say to you. So we beat on, boats against the current, borne back ceaselessly into the past. Oh, that's kind of cool coming out with a past life reading. I feel like this might be saying that you may find yourself going through cycles, almost like on repeat, and that may be the lesson, is you might want to go with the punches just a little bit more, go with the flow, and accept what you've got going on. And that's going to be different for everyone, but your circumstances, because like in this energy, I am totally getting that you are the type to talk things up. And that is because you see that rainbow off in the distance. You see that perfection and you keep wanting to reach it. But going with the flow, the path of least resistance can sometimes be the best thing. And if you don't accept how things are going and your responsibility to change them, if you don't like how they're going, Now, you know, if you've got some things going on that you need to change, by all means, I think you've got the happiness and the attitude and the skills to change these things. 5, change. You can change those things, but yeah, there is an easy route to life, an easier route than what you have already chosen. So maybe just move in that direction a little. Let the stream carry you a little. I think you're going to find that all those past cycles you don't want to have repeating, those things that you're sick of coming back around to, will clear themselves up. The more resistance we have, sometimes the more those things come back. And just let bygones be bygones, sort of thing. You can't change every mind or heart. Sometimes you just have to accept people just the way that they are. This is a really interesting, though. I'm thinking that if you weren't a merchant, or if you weren't a politician or something, definitely with a skill to gab. Okay, maybe you did do media. You might have worked in the media somehow, like the town crier. I think maybe you might have been some kind of statesman or stateswoman, of course. I feel like, though, you did something very important. There was a lot of ridicule and there was a lot of attention for your job. Okay? That is what I see for your reading. Do remember to go with the flow. That seemed to be a very common thing. Go with the flow and feel the connection to the stream of life. Okay? All right, I hope you enjoyed your reading. If you did, drop a star below to connect with this energy. Subscribe to catch me again, and until next time, have fun. Oh, pile number 2. This is the card that you chose. And I am going to do this a little different because we're going to grab a number of past lives that you have had. Ooh, we've got a Jack. Now this is, of course, I want to say this is a collective reading and this is entertainment purposes only. I am in no way a past life specialist. 11. You are either on your 12th past life or you may have had a multiple of 11's past life. That's hard to say. Like 22 or 33 or 44 past lives. You get the idea. It would go on and on. I like the energy of this card. Celebrate. Buy a new pair of designer sunglasses. So treat yourself with something special. Send an email greeting to a friend you haven't spoken to in a while. That could be a really great thing to do. So you have had quite a few past lives. And that 11 is such a wonderful number. That's a magical number. You may have had a new beginning at the beginning of every life. I mean, just like a fresh start, like you just had good karma the whole time. And diamonds, to me, I'm thinking you might have been wealthy. Definitely very good with finances. The altruist, that's great. So your energy overall, however many past lives you've had, is of altruism. So you're very honest. And that would make sense that you would be good with money then. And that you would get a fresh start with every past life. I did not look at this card. So that's kind of cool because you would have the kind of karma that would give you a new beginning. You wouldn't have a lot of karmic things to work out in every new life. Let's see what your life might have been like. I'm thinking as an altruist, could you have maybe worked in like peacekeeping, being a police officer? There's so many jobs that you could have with altruism on your side. You could have been someone who argued for change, maybe an advocate of some sort. You're definitely an innocent person. So maybe you were a saint. Is that crazy? But you could have been a saint in a past life, or something just really revered by everyone around you. Okay, so what was your life like? Let's pull a couple because we didn't get a lot of career out of that. I like those two. Oh, the High Priestess. That's awesome. So you could have been some sort of miracle worker, magic worker, she who walks between the worlds. You could have been a witch, a witch doctor, of course, some kind of practitioner, someone who brought people to wisdom, to their intuition. You could have been a tarot reader, some kind of soothsayer, a psychic, of course, would fit in very much with the high priestess energy. Maybe a necromancer. For some reason, I'm not sure why that's coming to mind with the high priestess, but yes. And the King of Wands. This is the second time I've seen this card today. So you were kingly. You were very knowledgeable, and I feel like you were working a lot of magic and helping a lot of people. You had a lot of strength, and you offered up your strength, your knowledge, and probably your empathic abilities as well. These are great cards. I feel like you are very important in your community. People came to you whenever there was any kind of trouble, like if there was any kind of spiritual or supernatural or anything that kind of played on their superstitions. I feel like they came to you for answers, and you helped them. So this is great. You could have been a shaman. You could have been some sort of guru or a monk. You definitely had some secrets to share. And with the king, it is definitely telling me that you did something really meaningful. You sort of built an empire. You might have had some sort of following or been like the ruler in the land there. Definitely leadership abilities, very passionate. But your strength was definitely in seeing other people's perspectives and point of views, and always treating others fairly, as if no one is really above or beneath one another. It's a really great energy that you would really extend your help to everyone. Very caring energy. Let's get a message from the universe about your past lives. I think you're doing pretty good, altruist, high priestess. Oh my. I'm going to take the top. I am mindful at all times and live only within each moment I have. That's terrific. That's the second time we got something that kind of said, don't worry about your past. The life you have right now is amazing. So, yes, you with the fresh start, you with the clean slate, enjoy this very moment. The universal mind wants you to know that you are here in the right moment, right where you need to be. And this is the only moment that you have right now. So you are meant to be enjoying it. Maybe you're not that carefree because you care so much, but you're being given permission to enjoy it. So let's see what your past selves would want to say to you. Imagination. Who can sing thy force? Oh my gosh, if you know what the old tarot deck was like, and you've got the lion here, the lion represents the strength card, which also used to be force, love force. Am I saying that right? Maybe not. But look at that. How powerful is that? So if you're not a Leo, you might have been one in your past life, and you definitely were as fierce and strong as the king of the jungle. Very revered, very respected, and yet also just like so majestic and admired. I love how this book is playing on the shadows, like it's going to give you wings to fly. And that's true. That Leo energy, that strength, true strength, comes through knowledge. That is going to give you wings. That's going to help you to transcend any kind of circumstance. And you already know that. But I think that's beautiful coming out. Your past lives is like, this is the best thing about us. That we are strong and knowledgeable. And that we free others. I feel like maybe you really might have been helping people physically. You could have been curing them of illnesses. Maybe you got into herbalism. That would be amazing. 2 might be something. I like how this comes out as 11 and that looks like 11. The High Priestess, it's 2, but it looks like 11. So 1111. You can definitely have a deep soulmate connection that transcends all your lifetimes as well. This is an amazing reading. I really want you to do that. Like it says, live within each moment, just as you have them. And appreciate the growth, the happiness, every stage of that flower growth, from the bud to the blossom to the blooming to the seed. Okay, that is what I see for your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, drop a star below to enjoy this energy. Subscribe to catch me again. And until next time, have fun. This is the card that you chose about your past lives. I want to quickly get you a card about how many past lives that you may have had. Now, this is for entertainment purposes only and a collective reading. But how many past lives has pile number 3 had? 6. You have had 6 past lives, and they look like they were very passionate. You were probably an explorer of some sort. Take flying lessons. Wow, that's exciting. Play the stock market for a month with Monopoly money. Sounds interesting. So you may really enjoy trying new things. And you may also have had multiples of 6 for past lives. Like you're either on your 7th life or your 13th or 25th. Maybe you get the idea there. So I think that's kind of fun to think of having that many past lives. Your overall energy there, the photographer. So as an explorer and photographer, you could have been all over the place taking photos of maybe mountain ranges, volcanoes, people, events, and maybe like certain places that really called to you or were popular at the time. If you did that, work directly with photography, because obviously cameras were invented and they weren't always available. I have a feeling that you were still exploring, still documenting things, still bringing excitement into people's homes somehow. You might have been a great storyteller, amongst other things. Let's get a card to see what your life was like. So I think that's pretty exciting. I had a family member that was a photographer for the military, and there are some stories of being a photographer for sure. So let's see, what's your life like? We've got the 3 of Cups. So along with exploring and having an aesthetic eye, I'm thinking you had a lot of friends, a lot of celebration, a lot of good companionship, people you could trust and got along with, and you felt a lot of joy around. You might have been very social, kind of a socialite, socializer, social butterfly. I could see you out late at night quite a few times, telling these stories and just going on adventures. You probably took a lot of risks. Seems like this seems very much attached to beauty, and I think that's interesting, as 6 has a meaning of beauty, of cycles, and just as a very at one with nature. I really can see you spending a lot of time in nature, especially with friends. What would the universe or the universal mind have to tell you about your past life? Just one word, well, a few words of advice. I stand up for what I believe in. Oh, that's cool. So you weren't just worried about how things looked. You also were very strong-willed and strong-minded, and you stood up for what you believed in. You didn't let anyone put anything over on you or those that you cared about. Now I'm thinking maybe you might have been a lot more adventurous. Like, really like the Christopher Columbus type. Maybe you helped find territory or create maps even. That would really go along with this kind of a reading. You could have helped create maps. Let's see what past selves want to tell you. Let's see one quote. I am no bird, and no net ensnares me. So you definitely, here we have you writing. Like I said, you could have been a storyteller. You definitely had an eye for color, for excitement, and you could not be caged. Perhaps you still enjoy that kind of freedom in your life now. You go out and do what you're passionate about. Do what you believe in. I believe what you really need to focus on is what you know is true. And I love this card too. There's just something about those line drawings. Like, you see the most important thing about whatever you see. So keep discovering things, keep exploring, keep enjoying the journey, and do what is in your heart. Do what you are driven to do. I like how number 3 came out with number 3 as well. You have 33. You might be really good at teaching others these skills that you have. That is what I see for your reading. Drop a star below to connect with this energy. Subscribe to catch me again. And until next time, have fun. Alright, this is a card you chose about your past life. First thing I want to do is grab a possible number of how many past lives you have had. This is a collective reading, keep in mind. For entertainment purposes only, we have the 2 of Diamonds. Oh, so you're pretty financially stable. You may have had to juggle a little bit, but you could be on your 3rd past life, or however many past lives you've had. It's an even number. That does mean something. I will let you look into that on your own because it means something different to everyone. But we have celebrate. You could have been an earth sign the majority of the time, or at least very centered on earthly wares. Whatever could be owned, traded, whatever glittered might have really appealed to you. Spend the day at your favorite theme park. Buy theater tickets to a play you've always wanted to see. You could really enjoy entertainment. And maybe even entertaining. You might have been an entertainer in one of your past lives. We have divorce. Let's find this interesting because this reminds me, with the 2 things crossing here, it's like we have another 2. So we've got 22, and this is pile 4. So that's fairly interesting. You may have worked with people in separating them from things that they no longer needed. There's a number of ways that could be. Like, you could have helped them break habits, help them leave behind their past lives, even start a new life. A really wild example of this would be if you got people into like a witness protection program. That's a little extreme, but you get the idea. I'm thinking that you probably help people definitely move away from what they no longer needed. You could have obviously been in counseling or something like that. But with the entertainment vibe, it could have been that you just reached a lot of people with your message and they were leaving behind those things that no longer serve them and finding peace and happiness, even if it was a struggle to leave those things behind. Okay, let's see what your life was like on a more important level than just what you worked at. Oh, we've got the Wheel of Fortune. Wow. So, fortune. Definitely I am just getting, you were rich. Okay, you were very wealthy in at least one of your past lives. You did very, very well. So you may have been an entertainer, maybe some kind of a celebrity, singer, songwriter, maybe an actor, an actress. May have come about it by chance, though. You might not have always been that way, but maybe you went from the ground up, honed your skills, and got noticed, were persistent enough that they'd never turned you away. I'm thinking Broadway for some reason. Broadway might be something, or like those talkies, those black and white pictures. Even before that, we had entertainers. So some form of entertainer is featured in my mind now. And you did well. You did very well for yourself. And I'm thinking that it helped other people. You kind of helped their lives getting moving and releasing cycles that kept repeating in their life that they really did not want to see over and over again and could not beat on their own. So that's magnificent. I feel like you must have done a lot of charity work if you didn't directly affect these people. Let's get from the universe or universal mind one quote about your past life and lesson to be learned in this life. I am at peace with my past. And I was looking at this and thinking of the Two of Swords and peace. That's beautiful. So you are at peace with your past. A lot of these quotes have been about past in this reading. It's like the deck knows exactly what I'm talking about. So go ahead and relax and release any attachment you have to anything that you used to be. What you are right now is exactly what you need to be, and it's all going to pay off. What would your past lives tell you if they could? What would they overall want you to know? Let's get a postcard from your past lives. I will write my story for my better self. So maybe your entertainment industry was writing. You could have been like a world-renowned author or something. Maybe a screenplay, like Shakespeare. Could you imagine being like Shakespeare or Edgar Allan Poe? That would be incredible. This also could be talking about your time right now, though. That you want to get in touch with your higher, better self before you write your story. And start speaking as if you're on your way to where you really intend to be. You may be more of who you intend to be right now than what you already know. Because if you were thinking about writing, this is a terrific chance to start. Okay? I would take this as a sign. I see a butterfly here, which to me represents transformation. I also, of course, see like an L and a J. So that could be JL or JS, which is beautiful. Those would be great initials. It could also stand for serenity. Serenity and peace was definitely a part of this reading. And 2 is all about balance. It's about connection. So I like how we have 2. We have the 2 featured there. I'm just seeing, and that's 2 X's. 20 or 22 might mean something to you. That's a terrific number to look up. Connecting with the world. And we have the 2 people here. So I'm seeing this as potentially having a partnership that has come through these lives. You may be reconnecting with someone. If you've never dreamt about someone as if you lived a past life with them, I think there are meditations you might want to try to find out who it is that you keep connecting with in all these lives, especially with all these 2s. Maybe it's just me, but if you see it too, I definitely want you to check that out. So I feel like completion to you is going to depend on this, coming to peace with the past and writing a better future for yourself. I think that's going to make you one of the most fortunate and lucky people on this planet as soon as you figure out exactly how to do that. So this is what I see for your reading. If you enjoyed this, let me know. Drop a star below to connect with this energy. Subscribe to catch me again, and until next time. Oh, number 5. This is the card that you chose for your past life reading. Now, I want to do something kind of fun. Yes, entertaining and fun, and see how many past lives have you had. We're going to pull a number, and it's going to tell us how many lives you've had, or multiples, since these only go up so high. Oh my gosh, you're the second person to get 11. You guys are special. And unwind. You were definitely an intelligent creature, some sort of mastermind. This says change the frames of all your photos, celebrate happy hour with your coworkers. Okay? However it is you choose to go out and celebrate, you don't have to drink. You're not here to go out and celebrate happy hour. But I want you to unwind. I like to play games, actually. That will relax your mind and let your brain kind of have some fun instead of working on problems and projects and stuff. It's just nice to let your brain unwind. 11 could be really important to you. So you could be on your 12th you could be on your 12th life, 34th life, 56th. Maybe you get the idea. So that's kind of entertaining to know. You were the strategist. Did I not say you were a mastermind? Oh, this is kind of interesting. I swear I did not look at these cards. I get so excited when that happens. So with swords being here and all that mental agility with 11, you were the strategist. Maybe, why am I getting, I'm getting you might have been like a general or a lieutenant or maybe a ruler of some sort. A philosopher. Whenever I see this card, though, I think of playing that game. Oh, it's kind of a weird game where you try to take over the world. I can't think of any names of anything right now. Being strategic mentally, you could have been into politics. You could have been a king or a queen or maybe one of their consults, a cabinet member, and a specialist in some area of science. Someone who took statistics and did reports and people would pay attention. I think you made decisions. You could have been a city planner, of course, got into civil engineering. There's a number of ways that could go, but I think that's super exciting that you had such skills. Let's see what the more important parts of your lives are. It isn't all about work after all, is it? Let's see. Oh my gosh, I like that. Let's see what you did that really mattered to you. Okay. Oh, wow, look at that. The strategist. So I feel like you released people from bondage. And the Four of Pentacles showing up it's about learning to let go. You know, when you're trying to save and save and save, you're not always paying attention to where things are really going just because you kind of get into a lack mindset and you're thinking about what you can't have. Like these people chained here, they could get up at any time and not be drug along. But they don't know that. They don't realize that all they have to do is stand up. They could pull that person right over. You know, it would be nothing. So I'm feeling like you feel like you're down in this rut, right? And this is probably what I think you were helping people with, not yourself specifically, but you were helping people realize that they were not in any sort of entrapment. You know, they could get out and they could grow and they could be strong. And that's weird that it's got to do with finances. So you could have been in economics. And you could have helped people. You could have helped Wall Street. You know, it's weird because like I've been mentioning all these things. And I know that sometimes people feel very strongly about people who do very well. And I just want to say that in your past life, at least, I think you knew that people who did really well, they worked really hard. They had what it took to do well. And you could see a way to pull everybody up and out of the I can't do very well. You know, like this Four of Pentacles always makes me think he's going to hold on to his 4 cents, but that's it. He's not going to grow. He's really cut himself off from growth. And you help people get out of that. And that's very important. It may not have been just about finances. It may have been about a number of things that really matter to people that you release them. You fought the good fight. So I think that's super cool. Maybe what you did wasn't, like, at least for a few of you, it wasn't well received or well known. It might have been something that was sort of hidden, almost like an underground kind of thing. But that's amazing. I think the people who did celebrate you in their hearts, it that's going to be much more important. Maybe you know that already. It matters a lot more. So many heroes go unsung. Oh, yikes. I think Spirit agrees. Let's get a quote from the universe or the universal mind on exactly what you have to learn from that past life, these past lives, to pull into your life lessons now. Oh, look at that. My mind is my tool to use in any way I wish. Okay, strategist. Your mind is a tool to use in any way that you wish. That's amazing. It could be creativity, writing, of course, letting your message be known, telling your story, about however you use that. Where an artist has a paintbrush, you have your mind. And you might not feel like the most creative person that you've ever met, but you are creating solutions other people have no idea how to create. So continue to use that mind in the way that you see fit, not the way people tell you. People will tell you not to try and that things are too hard and things are just the way that they are. And you know that there's nothing fixed. Everything can grow, everything can change, everything can improve. What would your past life selves tell you? What's your past life selves have to say to you? Imagination is a good servant and a bad master. Oh, so maybe we're trying to temper that. Using your imagination is terrific, but you don't want to get too stuck into that. And you can sort of get trapped in your mind if you're always coming up with stuff and you're really good at examining things up close and fine details. You might want to make sure that you take time to enjoy little things like celebrating. Make sure you get around your friends, your companions, and just change things up a little bit. Like this first card was intimating to us. Change things up and keep things fun. Remember to always have fun with what you're doing. Like if you do paint or you do create something you never intended to create just to see what happens. Let it free flow. Do it intuitively and see what comes. You would be surprised. Some of the best stuff happens almost purely like by accident. I think it's your higher self, but yeah, give those things a try. Let me know how they work for you if you wish. This is what I see for your reading. You sound like a terrific person and that you have been in your past lives as well. Okay, drop a star below if you want to accept this energy. Subscribe to catch me again, and until next time, have fun.